I was living in an attic going through a divorce. The ceiling was so low that if I stood up, I would hit my head on the ceiling. But I had an acoustic guitar, I had a notebook, and I had one video game. This is how I took a boring, simple song inspired by a video game and turned it into something awesome.
Some they would ask us when we would grow up. It made us wonder, we still wonder.
This point in my life was kind of one of those, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times scenarios. A sort of therapy of mine at the time was to play this game I'd always wanted to play. Zelda Twilight Princess HD on Nintendo Wii U, and writing songs for an album I wanted to record. And there was this one level in the Zelda game that always stuck out to me. It had this sort of Spanish guitar part. It felt mysterious. If I closed my eyes when I listened to that song, I could see a traveler going somewhere unknown, like a Western adventure. And that's kind of like what I felt like at the time, because I was living out of a suitcase in this attic in the middle of the summer and it was blazing hot. Later, when I sat down with my acoustic guitar, I just closed my eyes and I imagined that level, and I just started playing. This riff just sort of came out. The original riff I came up with was lacking something though. It was kind of bland. I really wanted to push myself as a songwriter and start making things more interesting. Part of my process is to add some wrinkles to my song ideas. Play it a bunch of times, play different variations, work with it until I mold it into something that's more interesting. What I tried to do on this song was add an extra beat, like change the time signature from 4/4 to 5/4. 5/4 time has kind of its own unique flavor and not very many people use it. And to me, it gave this song idea the feel of like riding on a horse, like in that Zelda level with a bow and arrow, or being some kind of ninja. I figured since I was already going down the path of Zelda inspiration, I should just make the song an homage to Zelda. So there was this other song that I always loved. I felt this intensity from, you're gonna laugh when I tell you this, but a 16-bit MIDI song from the Super Nintendo game, Zelda: A Link to the Past. There was this bass drum on the Death Mountain level, and it was really ominous in the background, just like bump, bump. I always liked that part. I asked my friend Tyler if he could come up with a way to program an orchestral bass drum doing something similar and sort of make it a tribute. So when he sent me the track back, we ended up using pretty much the same beat from that level, but we changed how often the bass drum sounded. But then my song starts to venture away from the video game song because it takes that rhythm out of the minor key that the video game used, and it puts it into a major key for my chorus.
Hey, don't you worry when things are broken. Good is gonna win out. Good is gonna win out. Don't it surprise you when things don't work out? Good is gonna win out. Good is gonna win out.
The final song that I came up with didn't sound anything like that level from Zelda. It's like out of this video game song was born something completely original. It's crazy to think about, wow, this whole song came from like an old Nintendo game, some guy composing on a MIDI keyboard, and that inspired my rock song. I named named it Gerudo Village as a nod to that level. It's one of my favorite songs on the album I made. So there you go. If you ever have writer's block, go live in an attic and play some Nintendo games.